Well, hi everyone. This is Lisa Harris, and I am teaching the class today. So if anyone has any questions right now, if you look on the right side of your screen, there should be a little hand. You can put your hand up, and there also should be a chat window. So you can go ahead and send us any message or question that you might have at this time. We're going to wait a little bit longer just to get everyone else on, and we'll get started shortly. Okay, I am going to get started. Again, my name is Lisa Harris, and I will be doing your class today. I know this is a little odd way to be teaching right now, but obviously with the circumstances, we don't have a choice. So at least you can get a lot of your classes in and refresh and figure out things that you might be stuck on until things get a little bit better for us. So hopefully by the end of this month coming up, we should be hopefully back on the roads again, and spring market's here, so everyone should be pretty busy. So I am going to be doing a CMA class today. We are going to look at two different ones. The first one is in Paragon. It's just a quick CMA, and that's something you could use if you're just trying to get a price reduction, or maybe you have something for a bank, you're doing a BPO. These are great to use. They're very simple. The other one is Cloud CMA, which is my favorite. So what we're going to do first is start off in Paragon. And either one that you use, you want to start your search in Paragon to find your comps first. Then you'll create your CMAs from there for both ways. So I'm going to start off in here. I'm actually going to use a property that I just closed on. If you have another property that you would like to use, you are welcome to use that. You don't have to follow me. But I'm going to pull up the property real quick just so I can pull the square footage and that information, and then I'll run my search on it. So at the very top here, you do have this little quick search button over here, this power search. You can type in an address, you can type in an agent's name, you can type up a street, sometimes it finds it, but any of these will help you find a property really quick. So I've pulled up my Berkshire, and this is a ranch out in Chesterfield Township, and it's just under 1,800 square feet, finished basement, built in '98. So I'm going to start off in search. So if you go to your search tab at the top here, we're going to go down to residential condo. So search residential condo. If I lose you, or if you have a question along the way, again, if you go ahead and just select your hand or just chat with us, I will check the messages as we go, or Deb will, and that way we can keep you moving along with us. So I'm now in a search, so search residential condo, and I'm going to put in some of the characteristics of this house. I can find my matches for my comps. So it is residential. I like to pull my active, my pending. I like my active so they can see what is going on in their neighborhood at this time and what their competition is. Obviously my sold, and then my pending so they can see what's sold and how many days it's been on market. So I'm gonna go ahead and save that. And I wanna go back, the market's been up and down, so I'm gonna go 6 months back right now and just see if I have enough. And I'm gonna skip through location, and I'm gonna move down into bedrooms. This one had 3, so I'm a minimum of 3 bedrooms. It does have a basement, so I'm going to type in yes for basement. And it does have a 2-car attached garage, so I'm going to put 2 minimum for garage. And then my square footage is 1,700 square feet just above. So I like to go about 20% below and above the square footage that I'm using. So I'm probably going to take this over to about 1,400 square feet. And I'm going to go up to 2,100 square feet, see what we pull. And the last thing I like to do is my map. And the reason I wait for my mapping is I like to get my information filled in as much as possible first. Then I can put in my map and I can actually see what my results are instead of just opening the map first, which everything's going to pull up at that point. If you haven't filled in everything, it's not a problem. You can go to your map and then come back to the rest. So by search by map, you can click on the little earth sign here. And your map should pull up. At the very top here where it says center map and zoom on this address, I'm going to type in my property address, which is 49079 Berkshire. I'm running my comps on. And it's Chesterfield, so I'm going to put a comma, Chesterfield Township. Sometimes it finds it without city, but sometimes it doesn't and relocates you to another state. So I think it's a little easier to get to my exact location. And here we go. So here's my location. I'm going to draw around it. It's actually a little bit east of 94. So I'm going to use my Paragon tool. So I'm going to go to draw, the top left of my screen. I'm going to select Paragon. And I'm actually going to draw this odd shape just because I don't want to pull to the east or west side of 94. I want to stay to the east of 94. So I want to avoid going over. So you just go ahead and click every time you want to relocate the direction of your map that you're drawing. And your start point is your end point. So I'm going to go back around to here and create it. So it looks like I've got a few things that popped up in here. Not too many, but there are a few. Now, if you didn't finish any of the information for the home itself, as far as the interior features, you can select criteria. If you look at the top left of your screen right here, we're on the map search. It actually sub-tabs. You got criteria, and then I have run search. So if I was all set, I can hit run search. But I'm going to go back a step and hit criteria just in case anyone needed to fill in a few more things. So I'll wait another minute or so, and then we'll go ahead and pull the results. And again, if you have questions along the way, your chat should be on the right side of your screen, and there should be a little hand that you can raise your hand also. So either one, I'd be happy to answer anything that you have. Okay, so I have 4 results. I'm going to just go with what I have. I'm going to go ahead and hit search. And let's see, I've got foreclosed, which will work for me. So I'm going to select what I'm using. So if you were spending the time to do your actual CMA, you're going to actually probably open up each one of these properties and view the photos and compare it to what you have. But since we are limited on time for our class, I'm going to go ahead and just select them. So if you want to even just select some of yours, if you're doing a CMA for a property that you're actually trying to get good comps for, it's not a problem. You can come back and make adjustments to your results later. But let's walk you through it at least and have your report completed for you, and then you can come back and make your modifications. It'll be a little bit easier for you. So I'm going to go ahead and select them. So you just want to select these boxes on the left side of the picture here if you have a photo first in your one-line report. And the first report I'm going to show you is just your basic CMA that can be done quickly in Paragon. Again, it's great for price adjustments. You probably don't want to do a 30 full-page report for your seller that you've had listed, or it's also really good for a BPO. I know banks don't want to see a 30, 40-page report. They want your basic information. So both of these are really good to work with. So if you look to the right side of your screen, once you have these selected, there's your report button here on the right. We're going to select reports, and we're going to go down to CMA. So you should have a tab that says CMA. Once you select it, there's 3 things in here. You've got a quick view, which is side-by-side comparison of the properties, the summary, which breaks down and gives you all your statistics, and then your spreadsheet, which actually shows what you've used to select those properties to find the comps. So the 2 that I use are the first 2. My quick view, which I'm going to click right now for you to take a look at. And what that does, again, is a side-by-side comparison. It gives you the first 4. In order to move to the next one, if there is more, there should be an arrow on the top right here to the left of where reports were, and the back button, and there'll be an arrow, and it'll say 1 of 2 pages, 1 of 5 pages, whatever you may have. But as you click on the arrow, it will load your next result. I only had 4, so of course all 4 showed up for me. Okay. What you can see in here is you've got all the features of these properties, interior pricing, well, it tells you pricing and sold, but it will give you features as far as how many bedrooms, square footage, year built, and public remarks. Now, I have modified mine, so mine might look a little different than yours, but you can customize. So if there's something on here that you need to show your clients that is not here, you can go up here to the top where it says customize. It's in the light blue section here on your screen. You select customize and go down to fields. And just like everything else in the system, when you're customizing, everything on the right is already on your screen that you're viewing. Items on the left can be added. So if there's something else that I want to make sure my client sees in this report, I can come to the left here. There's a search button in the top left corner. Type in whatever it is you're looking for. And once you find it, I will select something right now to see. So here, my basement, yes or no. I can check mark it. And in the center here, there's an add. So you select add. It will drop it to the bottom of your screen on the right. So you can see it's right down here. If I want this up further, maybe I want it closer to where bedrooms and bathrooms are, I can left click, drag it, and move it where I'd like it. These can be put in whatever order you like. You can also remove things. If there's things here that you don't want on here, same step. You're just going to check mark it. And instead of selecting add, I'm going to select remove. Now be careful, right underneath remove, there's a remove all. So if you select that, you're going to lose everything. So make sure you just hit the remove once and it will drop it back to your left side of your screen. So very easy to do. The nice thing about this is once you do this once, whatever changes you made, it will save it for the next time. So it does create one that's you don't have to come back to and make adjustments unless you want to later on. Again, each one might be different. Maybe there's something specific for one seller you need to show. Acreage might be an issue that needs to be something that is shown on there. We can add that in. Maybe you don't want it for a different one. So again, you can add and remove whatever you'd like. Now, you have another section, which when we go into the stats, I'm going to show you can customize also. This does give you also options to customize agent information, office, team, things you may want on there or not. With this quick view, you do not show any agent information except you. So you're the only one that's going to show up when you are sending this to your client. So I'm going to go ahead and select save at the top right corner, and that's going to save, which I didn't make any changes, but it will reload this and you can see anything that you did add in there if there was a change made. Okay. The other report, which again is I feel is probably one of the most important one, is your statistical information about it. So if you go back to the right side of your reports, select CMA again, and select CMA Summary. That's going to break down all those numbers for you. It's going to show you what your average is, your low, high, median, average. It's going to give you first your sold properties. It's going to break those down for you too, ask price, sold price, and so forth. And then if you have actives and pendings, you're also going to see those in here too, and they're broken down into sections. Again, if there's something here that you want to show them and you're not seeing it, you go to the top where it says Customize and select Customize Fields. Once you select Customize Fields, everything on the right again is what you're seeing. Now, if you look at the very top where my group is, this shows listing, and then it shows active. So if I want to make an adjustment to one section, then I'll want to go into that section. So for example, if I have actives, this is what they're seeing for my actives. I can add whatever I need to. I'm only viewing sold properties. There is nothing active or pending at this time. So I'm going to select sold, and this is what I'm seeing for my sold properties. If I want to make a change, I will find what I need here in the top left corner under search, type in what it is, find it, select it, and then add it in the center again, and then save. Okay. All right, I'm going to cancel and go back. So this is your really quick CMA. Again, find the results. We went to our search up here. We ran a search, found our results, we selected them, and just went and changed our report to a CMA report. So again, it's under CMAs, CMA Quick View, CMA Summary. And that's basically it. So that's your quick CMA. We're going to go into Cloud now. Is there any questions about the quick CMA? If you want to send me a question, you can, or raise your hand. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have to this point. Okay, all right, so we're going to continue from the results that we have and take them right into Cloud CMA. I just find it's going to save us some time here just because we are limited. So what I'm going to do is go back to my one-line report. So if you go back to your reports in the top right corner, I should be able to go into my favorites and find your spreadsheet. You should have an MLS spreadsheet view or one-line report, whatever you use as your default. And I'm going to go back to my one line and make sure everything is selected again. Once you get to this point, make sure everything's check marked on the left. Now we're going to pull this into Cloud CMA. So the nice thing about doing this in here, Cloud only gives you what's called a quick and dirty search, and it's horrible. I would not use that. And the reason being is it doesn't limit things. So I can't select my actives, my pending, just my close, my time frame. It's going to pull everything for you, and then you have to go in and pull what you want from it. So I find this is a much better way to go. So select the items that you're looking for, go to your Actions button in the top of your screen, top middle here in the blue section. So we're going to go to Actions. It's right here in the middle. When you select Actions, at the very bottom says Cloud CMA CMA, and that's what we want to work with. So go down to the very bottom and select Cloud CMA CMA. And if you give it a second, that's going to go ahead and load for us. So it's going to actually pull up another screen for you. And hopefully at this point, everyone has been registered, so it should take you right back into the screen where we can start creating our CMA. Okay, so when you look at this at the very top left here under Create CMA Report, there's actually 4 sections we're going to walk through. Criteria, which is what we're going to fill in right now. The listings that you've actually selected from Paragon. You'll be able to customize and then publish your report. It's very simple, just 4 steps. It walks you through each step. At the very top here where it says name the report, you want to name this for your client. So for me, I'm going to just go ahead and put CMA class. So I know this is not one of my actual clients because I do sell real estate just like everyone else. So I sometimes get confused between these. So I have to make sure I know it's for my class. So I'm just going to type in your Cloud CMA class. If you did one for a specific client, go ahead and put your client's name. You can put in your property address, whatever you need to, so you know what it is when you're opening it. Because when you look at these, you're going to see a bunch of CMAs and you want to know which one you need to open. So easiest way to find it. You do have private notes underneath. So if you want to make any notes, you can. And to the right of it is subject property. So here you're going to type in the property address that you're running the comps on. So I'm going to use the one that I ran, which is 49079 Berkshire. And as you type, it should start trying to locate the property. There it is. So when you find it, you're just going to select it. It now pulls from tax records and tries to find any information it can pre-fill for you, which is also another nice feature, save you a little bit of time. So mine pulled in my square footage, my bedrooms, and my bathrooms. Now, I know this property has 3 full baths on the first floor, so I'm going to go ahead and type in 3 and correct that here. That's only going to correct it for myself. It's not going to affect tax records or anything else. Under there, it says property type residential, which is what I'm running, and there's advanced information. So you can go ahead and click on that and type in anything else that you would like to include. So if you didn't have this pre-fill, then you can just type in the information yourself. So I did pull in most of it. I am going to add in here for area Chesterfield Township. And it is a ranch, so where it says style, I am going to type in ranch. Okay. And here to the right, you have add cover photo. If you've got a photo, maybe someone called you about the property, you took a drive-by, or you pulled tax records, you can select in this box, and it will allow you to search your computer and find it. Since this was my listing, I'm going to go ahead and find my photos, and I'm going to drop my photo in. If you don't have a photo, it's not a problem. It's going to go ahead and pull an aerial view for you, and you can just use that. It'll just show an aerial, but since I have mine, I'm going to select it, and it's going to load it for me, and then you will crop it at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and just make it a little bit bigger over here. Maybe take out some of the car, part of the car there, and then I am good to go. So I'm going to select this over here. Sorry, I've got my chat window open and it's covering my items. I'm going to select crop in the bottom right corner. So once you are done with it, you select crop. Give it a second, it should load it right here on the right. So again, if you don't have a photo, it's not a problem. It will give you an aerial view in there, but it does look nice if you can include a photo. Okay, so we've got our client's name, our property information. I'm going to go down in the middle section here. And if you look to the left side, these are the MLS numbers of the properties I selected in Paragon. So whatever you check marked, these MLS numbers drop in here. So that's basically what it's doing, is pulling them and dropping them into the report for you. If you realize you missed something or you want to remove something, it's not a problem. You don't have to start over. I can come back in here, I can hit a comma, and I can copy and paste and drop in the MLS number for the next property. I can type in the MLS number for the next property. I can also remove it right from here. The next step, when we look at the listings themselves, you can still remove them at that point also. So you have 2 areas you can actually remove them if you decide it's not one you want to use for your comps. Earlier when I spoke about quick and dirty, this is your quick and dirty. So this automatically finds listings for you. It'll go back for how many years you want. You can add some criteria. I do find though it does pull properties that I don't typically use. So I find that running it through Paragon is the best way to go. And at the very bottom, it says fetch listings, or if I go down to the top, or I'm sorry, up to the top, fetch listings here. So either one of these will take you to your next step. So I'm going to go ahead and select fetch listings. And it's going to take a few minutes. It's going to load all those properties for me on the next page. And so I just have to be a little patient here. I don't see any questions at this point, so hopefully everyone's doing pretty well with this. And again, you have those handouts, so if you get lost and you want to go through this again tonight while you're watching TV, you can walk, through step by step. Okay, so what I get here first is my map. You can see the properties that I'd selected. You can zoom in or out of this map, so if you've got more properties that are more out here in an area where you're not seeing them, just hit the -1 it will make it a little bit, it'll zoom it out a little bit. If you want to zoom it back in, you can. You can move it any way you'd like. So this map will appear on your actual report. If I scroll down a little bit further, you have an area here where it shows the property. And then I have a place where I can set my price. So here's the situation with setting the price. This is going to show up in your report. If you're going on a listing appointment and you give them a set price and in their mind they have something completely different, maybe 20,000 more than what you're thinking, this could cause a little bit of a problem for you. The nice thing about this is you can put a price range. So if you do want a price in there, the price range works well. So you can put in, if I felt like this one was worth 220, we'll say, and then I can dash, say that 230. So I can include that. If I don't want to include any price, I don't need to. I can remove this. But if you do know exactly the price that you're looking, maybe that you have a listing already, you've talked to them about reducing it to a certain price, you want to show them, the price on here, you can. It also will give you an option to do a seller's net out sheet so they can see what their bottom line number is going to be. So if I kept, say, 230 in here, to the right of that, it says price guide and net sheet. If I click on this to open it, it will show me basically my breakdown of the comps that I've used. And then down here is my net sheet. So I can type in my expense. So maybe I know that they've got a first mortgage, and maybe they've got two first mortgage, and I know that they owe 100,000 on it. So I can type in here 100, and I will hit save to the right. So that's going to save it. So if you notice, I had the price at 230 here. They owe 100. It's already giving me a breakdown of what their net is. And you would continue adding all their expenses, their tax stamps and title work and whatever else that that the charges are going to be in here. And you can word them any way you'd like. So again, once you have this done, this will show up in the report. If you don't want to include it, don't include a price, and you won't have an option to do the net sheet at that point because it won't have. You can do it, but it's not going to have an actual net number. It will still show whatever numbers you put in here, but this number will show up as negatives. Okay. So that's how you can do that. I'm going to go ahead and actually remove this. There's a little trash button. I'm going to delete it. And I'm going to close this out. Right under my subject property, I have my listing. So these were the items I had selected earlier in Paragon. And as I look at these, I can take a look at photos again if I'm not sure if this is a good one or not. So like this one is Swire. It's 287,000. It's a little bit higher. So I may want to take a look at the photos or more information. To the right where there's the arrow or the check mark, there's a details and adjustments with an arrow. You click on that, it's going to open up the photo. You can scroll through the photos that are in here. This is only giving me exterior photos. It gives you more information about the property itself, and it will give you any information as far as remarks and then features. So when I look at this, I can decide at that point, is this still a good one to use? If I decide it's not, you can uncheck it. So where this check mark is, I just uncheck it. It turns it cloudy, and it's not included in your report. So again, if you want to remove anything, you can still uncheck them and remove them at this point. Under there, if I need to add another listing, I can still add it here too. So if I hit add a listing, I can type in the MLS number, and that will pull all the information. So you can do that, or you can do it again the step before where we were typing in the numbers. And you can actually copy and paste it in there. So either one will work, and it will put the information for you too. If it's not on the MLS, you can put in the information that you have. Maybe it's a for sale by owner. You can type in the address, all the information that you have on it, what the price was, and that's a great way to at least get some numbers in there for you if you're having a tough time finding some good comps. I find that if you're more in a rural area, that sometimes a little more difficult too to find good comps within the area. So you might have to go a little bit further out, or looking up, for sale by owners, which if you use tax records, Realist will pull for sale by owners for you. And that will give you all the information you need in there. Then you can type it in here. Okay, so if you look at the right, it's also giving my summary of my listings, and I can also adjust these in the order that I would like. So if I look up here, I can select the sort option and do an automatic. So maybe I want to do it by list price, and it'll put them in an order for me. Or I can do a manual, and I can actually drag these up. So I usually like to put them in the order of price. So I go from low to high. So there's my 210, 238, and my 225. So that'll keep it in order for me. And the last thing is to go on to the next report, which is Customize Report here, or Customize Report in the top right corner. So either one will take you to the next section, and that's where we'll be able to customize what our report looks like. So go ahead and select one and then give it a few minutes to load. Okay, so here on the right as it loads, this is my CMA report and what's included in the options I have to change. You notice I have multiple forms here. These can be added or removed. And the additional forms that I'm missing are here on the left where it says additional content. And you may not, yours is probably gonna look different. Every time you make an adjustment to this and save it, it saves for the next time, so it keeps it as a default. So the last one I did was actually for a buyer. Being that it was a buyer, I didn't need a lot of information. I wanted basics so they can get an idea of what they'd like to make an offer at. So you can see it's pretty basic here. You know, contact me page, map of the listings, the summary report, the listings themselves, which I like to include all the photos, and then more stats on it and more analysis of all the sold properties too. So it breaks down the numbers for them. I obviously want more information. If this is going to be a listing that I'm going on to hopefully get, I would want a lot more information than this for them. So on the left side of my screen, each one of these tabs has a little more information. So I can take a look at, if I go to introduction, you just click on the arrow to open them up. And anything that says edit by it is something that you can customize. So a lot of times they're not created for you. Our company, I actually copied and pasted information from our company website. So if I hit this plus sign here, left click on it, it actually moves it right here on the left side. Or on the right side, I'm sorry. If I want to remove it back to the left side, there's these minus signs. So as you touch it, my sign appears, click on it, it moves it back. So I will include that just so you can see what it looks like. Again, what is a CMA? I may want to include that. Listings, I've already included all the photos. Listing chapter breaks it down to show active, and then pending is just like a subheader for each one. If you make adjustments, you can make adjustments on each one of these properties on value. When you opened up details on them, there was a place in there for adjustments. So maybe you had a tough time finding really good comps. You need to modify that price so it's not showing that your property value is as much as some of them, because maybe they have a lot more things than yours, offers. If you made adjustments, then this page itself will include the adjustments for you. If you didn't, it's not going to include anything, so you're better off keeping it out. So just depending if you include it. Okay, under that I have analysis. This will also break down the numbers for me. Online valuation analysis, I believe, is his estimate. I'm really not a fan. If you'd like to have his estimate included, you're welcome to include it. But again, these are some other options. If you did a list price, where earlier you could put in the range, the screen before, you would want to include that in your net sheet if you did complete them. If you didn't, keep them out, because otherwise you're blank. For closing, I've got information here for closing. So I may want a closing chapter. I might want to include this marketing action plan, which does have items in there, but you can edit them. Maybe I want them to see how the commission's broken down. Why do you need a real estate professional? There's a lot of great information in these. You don't have to include them. You might want to include them the first time so you can see them, and then you can remove them next time. Again, whatever way you'd like to use it, you can always make changes to what we're creating right now. Okay, and then there's a guidance section. Again, this has some more information. I do like CMA versus appraisal so they understand what the difference is. And again, if you have testimonials, these can be added in here. You can actually pull them from different areas. And you can create whatever page you want. Maybe there's something specific you like to use in your listing presentation. You can create whatever you'd like to. And I will show you at the end where you can go in and actually create these. But I have a couple in here that I've dropped in here. Okay. So at the very top here, we're going to take a look at the options you can make adjustments to for what your report looks like. First thing is your theme. If you select theme, it's going to show you a sample of whatever theme it shows here at the top. If you click this arrow to the right of your theme, you can select any of these others to view them. I do like to use colors that match like our company logo, just to kind of keep that type of theme. So you can select any of those. You have one that's created by My Real Source. It's a black and gold one that's already created for you. I believe everyone has that. And under this first section, these are modern, so they look like what you viewed here on the screen. You can see the look of it. But if you go down further, our original ones that we had when this first started with us, the modern ones are new, is the classics. So if I go to a red and black one in classic, you can see the difference. So these give kind of this color header at the top, and it does change what the view is on each page. So again, whatever one you prefer, you select and hit choose theme. Whatever you select now will be exactly the same way the next time you open this up and do another CMA. So I'm going to go back to my original because I do like that modern view. And I'll go to my modern red and black. You're going to choose theme, and it's going to load it for you. To the right of theme is layout. If you select layout, you have 6 different options. Now, if you are trying to make a condensed report, you don't want a lot of pages, you're going to want to go to either this 2-column comparison, 3-column comparison, or 4-column comparison. Now, the only downfall is that they are going to be a side-by-side, not the actual photo, 1 page with a large photo and more information than additional photos. So it does condense it tremendously. If you want a lot of information, a lot of photos, you'll want to either go with photo with maximum data, 2 photos, or photo with map. I usually like to do the photo with max data. To the right of layout is templates, which I'm going to show you how to do those in a second. And if you go here, there's a cover option. The covers, I believe, there's charges for all of them. I have not seen any, yes, and these are all, it lets you do it for free, but then you're going to be paying for them. There's a lot of information here. Do I feel like you need these covers? No. You're welcome to try anything you'd like to, but again, there are additional charges for these. And to the right of cover is font. So I can change my font to whatever one I'd like from this list. You want to make sure it's something that's easy to read. Whatever font you select is throughout your whole report. Again, if it's somebody older, you might want something that's a little bit larger, a little bit easier for them to read, maybe this Open Sans, but whichever one you like, select. And then the last thing is this template. So what the templates do is it creates a template from whatever choices you have selected here on the right. So whatever I've already included in this report, I can now save this as a template. And the way you do this is select template. And you can see here the very first one says save as template. If I select save as template, I'm going to name it. And then what it does, it actually puts it into my custom folder here. And everything I've created, I've got a few in here you can see, will show up in here. The built-in ones, if I click on that, those are ones that are already created for you. So you should have some in there. So as you look, you can see all the pages, appraiser's report, there's a pre-listing package, comps only, buyer CMA, and a follow-up report. And if you want to see everything, you can select all. And once you've created some, they'll all be in here for you to select. So basically what I would come in here and do, instead of selecting and removing and adding back and forth, I'm going to go to template. I'm going to select whichever one I want. It's going to load now just those specific pages for me on the right. So I won't have to go in and remove some and add others. Okay, so just a quick way. I do like having my own templates too, because I do that quite frequently. I do a lot for buyers. I do some for sellers just to do a quick price reduction. And then I do my full for my listing presentation. So I want to have those different options. And again, as you go through this, you can go through and read each one of these reports and see what you like and what you don't. On the left also, when we were looking at the different reports, at the very bottom, this Power Pack, again, this is an upgrade. It's wherever it says premium, there's a charge included. So if you do add any of these, they are going to charge you for them. There's a lot of information here. So do I feel like you need more? I don't. Like I said, with the amount that they already give you, I feel that there's enough. Plus, I can create my own. I can upload other things. So I feel like we can give them enough information without paying for it. But again, it's completely up to you. The option is there. Okay, so my last part to complete my report is publish. So if you look in the top right corner, there's a publish report here. I scroll down to the bottom. I can also publish here. And before I do, real quick, I probably didn't mention, you can reorder these. So if I want a different order, I can go ahead and just move them in whatever order I'd like. Okay, so you can select, just left click, drag them up and down. All right, I'm going to go ahead and publish my report. And if anyone has any questions, it's going to take a minute. If you have a question, I can answer right now while this is creating our report. You can see the page just popped up and it says publishing here at the bottom, so it hasn't completed yet.
Well, Pete Rydell did ask about how do I add a tax statement or a market stats page to my CMA. So that Perfect. Is one of the handouts that's in the little section in the right in the go-to webinar. But I wasn't sure, probably at the end, will you be going over some little special tips and tricks like that?
Yes, I would like to actually show them where the settings are, so they can go ahead and make modifications to those and add their own and edit the ones that are currently there. Yes, I will show you where to go.
Good. I know we got a shorter class today, but I was hoping you could squeeze it in.
Yes, no, I think we're doing pretty good on time, so I should be able to get there. So if you look now, mine's been completed. At the very bottom, it says View PDF, View Slideshow. The difference is the PDF is going to give you every page of everything that you just included in your report. The slideshow is limited. It's really made for more of a presentation with your client. So when you're sitting with your client, I don't like to go through a 50-page PDF with them. I usually try to send it ahead of time, see if they have questions. But when I sit with them, I like to view the slideshow. The slideshow is great on a iPad. It works with tablets, but it will work with your computer also. So I'm going to go ahead and show you that first. So if you've created yours, you can select View Slideshow to see yours also. And I will show you how you can navigate around this. So you can see here, it gives property address and the name that I named it, which I just put test for this. In the bottom right-hand corner, there's a house and there's an arrow. The arrow to the right will take me to the next page, which is what I want to do. If I'm obviously on my iPad, I'm going to be swiping. You won't see those arrows, but on a computer, you'll have to use the arrows. So first page is my contact information. I hit the arrow again. It's going to give me the map of the properties that I had selected for my CMA. I hit the arrow again. It's going to show me my sold homes first. There's 4 of them. Now, if you look here, now there's an arrow down. So if you select the arrow down, it's going to give you something else. So, and this is already preset for you, what you're getting in this slideshow. So this just tells you recent home sales can be the best indicators of what your home is worth. If I hit the arrow to the right again, it's going to show me my first property. And you'll notice I only have the property address, very little bit of information here, the price it sold for, when it closed. But if you look to the arrow to the right, there's an arrow down. It's now going to give me all my photos. And that's what I want to sit and go through with my clients. I want to look at this sold for 210. Let's see how comparable is this to your property. So I'm going to continue hitting the arrow down. And if there's other photos, I can see them right here. When I'm done with this one, I hit the arrow again or swipe, get to the next one, and same steps. You can arrow down, look at additional photos. And they're all nice high-res photos, so they've got a great view here. And then I can arrow to the next one. So I have 4 properties in here. And I'll get through those, and then it's going to start breaking down some numbers for me. So here's my average of the comparable homes for the 4 sold, 240 it looks like. Arrow over again. Here's a breakdown of all the solds and what the percentage was from list prices sold, days on market, dollar per square foot. I scroll to the right again. It tells you next steps they can complete, creating obviously their listing, putting in the MLS, you'll be doing photos, and start marketing. To the right again, and then thank you. Now my contact information is still here. I can now actually enter their email address and send them that full PDF. So if I didn't want to send it to them prior, I can now send it to them at this point. I can also click on full CMA of your home. If I select this, it's now going to download the full PDF. So you have 2 ways of getting that. And if you were on your cloud will, if you open that up, it's actually going to minimize your cloud or your page down to the bottom of your screen. So if I hit my Firefox, I can see here's my cloud. I click on it again, it takes me right back. So I have 2 ways of getting my PDF. I can hit view PDF from here. If you didn't do the slideshow, you can do that. Or I did it right from that page I was on from the slideshow. So it's actually completed my full PDF right here. It's downloaded to my computer. So I'm going to open that up. And let's take a look at the results from that. So I had 4 solds, and you can see I did put quite a few other pages in there. I ended up with 34 pages total, which isn't too bad. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here so you can see. So I have my nice photo that I added in earlier, and I'm going to arrow down. This is what your resume looks like. So if you haven't created a resume, this is what you're going to see. So I would suggest that you do edit this at least. I mean, yours won't even say anything, actually. I added just a couple of things just to throw it in here. I usually don't include my resume, but again, you're welcome to do that. Copy and paste it from a Word if you have one completed, whatever you'd like, but it can be dropped in here. Arrow down. I added what our company information is. This was pulled from our company website, so I did include that. This is pre-written for you. What is the CMA? My contact me page, which under your settings, you can change your photo and you can make sure this information is correct. Here's the map. Here's the properties I selected for the comps. Here's a summary report of them. And then it's going to start giving me my chapter headings here. So my first one's listings, and here's the first one. So you've got the photo, you've got the information, all the features, details, public remarks only, and then photos again. So I did include all the photos, so this will give me quite a few pictures. If they have a lot, they will include them. So that also will increase the size of your report, depending on how many photos they've included with the listing itself. Okay, and as I get down to the end here, it's going to give me an analysis section. It's going to break down my stats of my comps again. It's going to show me my sold property analysis and break them down individually per listed property. And then closing. I included a few things for a marketing action plan. I think I included what is the difference between the CMA and appraisal. I need a real estate professional, curb appeal. Intelligent pricing is nice. It tells you that you're going to see the most amount of traffic in those first couple weeks. And if you bring it at market value, you're going to get about 60% of the buyers coming through. You go over market value, you're dropping down to 30% of the buyers. It's got some little numbers in here. Commission breaks down, explains commission, staging your home, showing an open house checklist, moving, and the value of your home. So again, anything here that you don't like as you read through it, you don't have to add it. So I would take some time, create one, send it to yourself, kind of go through the pages, see what you like, what you don't. Maybe go in and customize some of the ones that you can customize, and then create that template and save it. And that could be your actual listing presentation template. All right, I'm going to go ahead and close this out. So if you did open a PDF, you should have an X in the right corner. It should take you back. And I am going to go back to Cloud CMA. All right, and show you a couple other things in here. So at the top here where I named the CMA, to the right of that, you've got these 3 dots. If you click on the 3 dots, and again, if you haven't been able to get back to this, it should be minimized. If you go down to the bottom of your screen and just select the Cloud CMA, it will bring it back up for you. So if you go to the 3 dots here, I can copy that PDF link if I want to send it to my client. I can copy the slideshow link to send to my client. So you can copy and just paste it in your actual email. You can actually email the report right from here. So if I select email report, I can type in the email address, subject, and it gives them a link to download it. Those PDF files get pretty big. So if you try to attach that one that was downloaded to your computer, most of the time it won't go through. You'll get an error. So use the link that it gives you, because all your clients can do is click on it and it's going to download that whole PDF for them, or it will download the slideshow for them, depending what you'd like them to see. Okay. I can also edit the report right from here. So if I want to go back, I can go back to the steps and I can go back in and make any adjustments I need to. If I select edit, what it's going to do is actually take me back to step 1. And I can make whatever change I need to here. If you make a change on this first section, you have to go to update listings to take you to the next. Maybe I get to this section and say, I just need to add a different listing in there that I missed. You can click on these sections right here at the top now. Once you've created one, you can actually go from section to section without walking through every step. So I can select listings, and I can go ahead and type in the other MLS number here. I can uncheck what I don't want, and then customize. So make sure you're doing that next step to move you to the next section, whether it's customize or to create the report. You need to create each one of those in order for it to save whatever change you're making. If I come back in here and I decide, you know what, I really don't need to make any changes to these first couple sections, I just want to go in and customize and change what I've selected for the report. I can select customize, and it's going to take me back to the section where we added in all of those pages, where we selected our font, where we selected the layout, theme, whatever you did here, you can make your changes. At the very end though, you have to publish. So you want to make sure you hit that publish report, and that will save all the changes you made and create a new PDF for you. Okay, so I think that's all the steps. So just a quick recap, we start off in Paragon. You ran your search, so I'm going to go down to the bottom of my screen real quick here. If I hit left, I should be able to go back to my Paragon page. So we did our search residential condo, filled in all that criteria. We found our results, and then we hit that check mark here to select them. And in the center here, the actions took us to Cloud CMA. When we got to that point, it took us to those 4 steps, and then we created our report from there. Is there any questions from at this point? Those handouts, again, everything I just did with you will be in there for you.
So which do you generally use for the list price? And I'll leave that one to Lisa.
So with the list prices, again, I would be careful of what you use. I would take a look at your comps first, and then if you want to give them a range, then put a range in there. But I would be very careful if you're going on a listing presentation, unless it's someone you know, it's a former client, you're very comfortable with the pricing, then go ahead and put that price in. And again, that was when, let me go back to the section where we did our listings themselves. It's the second section when you're walking through this. And it's going to be right underneath that map. So this is where you would put in your set price. So again, a range works, I find works better, just because if they're thinking 20,000 more than what I'm thinking, I don't want them upset with me and decide not to list with me because they feel that I'm totally underpricing their home. And you know how some sellers get a little emotional about their homes. And you want to make sure that you're, giving them an option, telling you what their thoughts are. You do sometimes get those clients that feel their home is worth that 20,000 more. And if you are having a tough time getting them to price it to where you feel it's going to sell for them, then you may want to talk to them about putting the price up at that price point for a week and see what kind of traffic they get through and what their feedback comes in. Because sometimes having no traffic coming in or having that feedback coming in with other agents telling them that it's overpriced, that sometimes helps too. It helps you get to the price that you need. So hopefully that answers your question. Is anything else, Deb?
We are looking good. No other questions.
Perfect. Okay, so let me show you the settings real quick, just because our time is limited. So let me go into settings, and I will show you where you can add additional reports, you can make changes and so forth from there. You can change your photo and things like that. So if you go back to your Cloud CMA, so wherever you're at, if you can just get back to your Cloud, if you can't find it, it's not a problem. What you can do is actually go on Paragon, go under your resources, and you've got your Cloud CMA link right here under resources. So if you put it somewhere, you accidentally close it out, not a big deal. Just go ahead and go back to your Cloud CMA. So I'm gonna go back to mine. And if you look in the top right corner, your photo should be here. I believe everybody should have a photo there. If you don't have it uploaded in Paragon, it might just show initials maybe, or it says photo. But you wanna click on the circle here in the top right corner. And this is where you've got your account settings and then your pages where you can customize. So under account settings, this is all your contact information and your photo. If you want to change the photo, you select change avatar, and it's going to give you an option to locate it on your computer and drop it in. If you remove it, it looks like just your initials will go in that place. Make sure your full name is in there, company name. If you want your company logo, you can also add those in there too. So you can just select it and find your logo and drop it in from your computer. Make sure your email address is correct, city, state, any of this that you'd like in here, make sure you hit save profile once you have that information in. You also have to the left of your screen, contact info. So with the old version of our Cloud CMA, it had those colored header boxes at the bottom and top of your pages. On the bottom, this information will show up on every page. If you do the modern, I don't believe it's on every page, but it will show up on the original Cloud CMA report. So if you want to include things here, the way you do this is select a method, select what it is you want to include. So if I want to include, mobile phone number, you're going to type in what that number is and hit add. The ones that are here already, if they're incorrect, you're going to want to hit that trash and remove them, and then add in the correct one. Okay, so you do have options to add in whatever you'd like for your clients to see. So depending which report you use, this information will show up under there. Also, your contact information, this should be in your report also in that section. Okay, password on the left side here, please don't use your password here, make any changes. This is single sign-on, right directly from Paragon. If you make a change, you may not be able to get into Cloud. So, so please don't use that. If you're having problems, if you tried to create a Cloud CMA account and it didn't work out, you're having any type of issues there, please contact our tech support. They will fix it for you. Okay, same thing, MLS credentials, that's going to show the MLS. Now, if you belong to more than one, then the custom pages, that's where I want to take you next. If you hit to the left, custom pages. So those are the reports that you can either make changes to that are already in there for you, or ones that you can create yourself. So you can see I've got a few in here. So the agent resume will be in there automatically. So if you hit the pencil to the right of it, that will allow you to make any change you want to here. You can copy and paste it in and add whatever changes you need to for your resume or any other these other reports that are in yours to begin with. To create your own, you can, and you can do custom pages right here. So you can upload it directly. So like I've got this GLR data sharing map, which I absolutely love. This is great if you're working with your potential seller and you want to show them how much exposure, and I don't know if this is the newest one, I believe it is. This will show them how many listings that we can see and how many listings are coming through. And actually, this is not the most updated. We have another one because this whole area should be filled in now. Isn't that correct, Deb? Do we have a new one made of this yet? Do you know?
We do,
okay.
But Mishrick, that whole area on the left-hand side is not live as of yet. So what we are doing, Brian is still mapping in all of that information. So what you have right there are all of the active data, which goes beyond the Great Lakes repository. Oh yeah, that says GLR on there. So
Yeah.
all that in green, the Northern Great Lakes is not included in the Great Lakes repository. Bay County is not included in the Great Lakes repository, and Lansing data. So these are all data shares that our boss, Dave DeReese, the CEO, has made this past year. We have grown exponentially with gathering more data. And also Mishrick, all that stuff on the West Coast, that is a separate data sharing agreement too, which is fantastic. And as soon as that comes in, we will have access to 30,000 realtors. And if anybody knows how many realtors are in the state of Michigan, 32,500. So that's almost 100%. Kind of digging it.
That's amazing. So this is great to show your clients, because again, you can show them how much exposure their listing is going to get. You know, you're definitely going to push it out there and give them the most exposure as possible and get it sold for them as quickly as possible. So again, all I did for this is just I uploaded, and let me go back down to where I was here. So that is under my custom pages, which is under my photo here in the settings. So custom pages, and you can go ahead and upload any PDF that you need to. Okay. You can also create your own, and you can just type in whatever you want to name it, and you can add whatever you like. Again, if there's certain things you like in listing presentations, use them. If your company has things that you like to use them. You have that option in here. All right. So that's basically, again, under settings. Deb, do we do the lead generation in one of the other classes, or is the quick lead generation?
That is a separate class.
Okay, so there's a class for lead generation too. It is free, and you can actually post right on your Facebook page, or there's other pages, there's options in there too. And you can take a look at it and try to do it yourself. It's pretty simple, but we do have classes that do offer that too. So we will be doing more of those, and we have a lot of webinars coming up. So this is a great time to take advantage of learning all this stuff and becoming really efficient with it. So that way, when that spring market hits, which hopefully will be sooner than later, we can all, get out there and start running and get these things sold again. I think that's basically it. There is options in here for a buyer tour, property report, a flyer. Property reports and flyers are great for your listings. You can use them as open houses. Obviously, we can't do them right now, but when you can place them in your listings, or if you've got a sign outside with the box, for right now, since you can't do much, you can at least get these created, throw them in that box outside of the house, and once everyone can get out there looking again, they can at least have something to look at too, and meanwhile, or contact you about it.
Yeah.
So you do have those options.
If you guys would like to take a deeper dive into Cloud CMA, I will get Lisa to do another webinar on customizing your cloud and taking a deeper dive in there, which would go over buyer tours, property reports, and flyers too. But today was strictly about CMAs. But Cloud CMA, it's one of my favorite products. I absolutely love it. How easy is it to make a flyer? Very easy.
Right, very simple. So I'm going to open it up for questions. So if you want to either send a chat or put your hand up, we can go ahead and add some, if there's any questions or anything you'd like me to show you again that maybe I missed. I can also actually, I think I can unmute, so if somebody wants to talk, you can. Also just unmute yourself. But I will wait a minute here. If anyone has any questions, that should be good. And was everyone able, hopefully, to find your handouts? So again, on the right side of your screen under handouts, there should be 3. That was great, and she uploaded them for you. Everything we did today, the step-by-step is in there. So try to play with it again. It's just easier. You'll remember it. If you wait in a week or 2 and decide to do one, you're going to probably forget everything I just said. So if you can use those handouts, the step-by-steps are great. Texts are always around to help too. So please, call us at any time that they can help. They are happy to.
And Connie Dunlap said that she would like a deeper dive into cloud. So excellent. I will get that on the books. And as you guys know, I am working my little fingers off on trying to change our platform of where all of our classes are held.
Okay, well, I think we're done. Yeah, we're done. Please come to as many of these classes, these webinars as you can, and you'd like to. That's what we're here for. We're trying to help you out right now while we're all stuck at home. So I hope everybody stays safe and healthy, and hope to see you guys at some of our other webinars. Take care, everyone.
Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.